I was telling somebody about our joke about like the hey, that turns into me 2 and back ahead. Like I was like explaining that bit to somebody, and they got like real offended. I guess they like are real into old people or something. But she got like got like real offended. Like she didn't say anything, but I could see it. Like her face dropped as I was explaining it. I could see it,
and you were like,
and then she was just
fuck.
like, yeah, and then like. I don't know. She's got a senile old person she really cares for or something. I don't know. But I definitely pissed her off. And it was really funny, though.
Who was it?
This girl I work with.
I know, but who?
Her name's Tabby.
Okay. That's fucking awesome.
But, yeah, she got, like, real upset about it. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Like, even though we joke about it, like, where I come from with it, when I talk about it, is like, I don't want to put that on my fucking family, man.
Exactly.
Like, that's so much of a burden. Like, and when I'm all fucked up, like, do you really want to, like, look at that and that, like, that's how you want to fucking remember me?
It's like,
that's so stupid.
That, but it's like, you don't want to, like, you just don't want to go through it. Mm-mm. Like, getting old, just like.
And think about the medical costs for that, too. Like, having all the
medical costs. And it's like, that medical cost doesn't just vanish when you die.
Exactly. Even though we sound like fucking pricks when we talk about it, double tap back of the head, I'll dig the hole. Like.
But it's for real, though.
It's
like,
for real.
I straight up do not want to get old.
It's like. When we joke about it though, it's cute because it's like Old Yeller putting down Old Yeller.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Devon Taylor here, aka Deezus, and this is my podcast, Deezus Take the Reel. No, this is not a religious podcast. It's a podcast where we talk life, we talk movies. So unless movies are your religion, then in that case, consider me your Lord and Savior. Today we are talking about a certain magical film. It is La La Land. Tyler, quit laughing at me, okay? I'm not perfect, okay?
That is the douchiest intro.
Oh, fuck you.
If religion's not your thing, but movies and life are, then consider me your Lord and Savior. Okay, well, it's good. It's really good. Oh man, that's funny.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, that's
okay,
funny.
I'm getting proud of it.
It's funny. It's good. I like it. It's just really douchey.
Well, and the thing is, the reason I do it extra douchey, because I'm well aware,
that
obviously.
It's douchey.
But it's like, I gotta let people know, like, I don't want there to be a misconception that, like, the nickname comes because I consider myself
the
Jesus
Christ.
Because, I mean, that's the ironic part, is because I'm not religious, like, at all. So it's, like, kind of the thing. So I want to make it very evident and obvious that like, I'm not trying to, like, all the plays.
You're not trying to fit all them there Christians,
yeah. I just want people to know, like, all the jokes and, like, things that I play off of my name, like, whether it be, like, the titles of things. I just want to be known, like, oh, this is straight up a joke.
Yep.
And I try to, like, sprinkle a little Kanye flavor in there, so that way people know who I'm really paying homage to. My Lord and Savior, Mr. Kanye West.
Awesome.
But, yeah, guys, this is my podcast, Deezus Take the Reel. So pretty much we kind of take a topic, we relate it back to our lives, we relate it back to movies, and we just have some good old weird conversations. And in case you didn't figure out who is on the other mic, it is Tyler Coleman. He is back again to bust my balls.
Per usual.
Levi busted my balls a lot last week, too. And I was like, motherfucker. So, 2 weeks in a row.
I thought I'd give Levi a chance to take a break for a week, but now I'm back, baby.
Yes, I need you back. And a very important movie came around, so it only made sense that we had to get back together on this podcast to talk about La La Land. This is a film. It just opened widely this past week, but it's been out for a minute. But hopefully here pretty soon people will get a chance to see it. I really encourage you to see it. If you have not seen it, I will do my best to let you know when it's going to happen, but there will be spoilers at some point because you can't really review this movie properly without getting into them. But at least the first half of the show you should be able to enjoy without us ruining the movie for you. Because go see the movie and then come back. This is real important, guys. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into the show, make sure you're following me on Twitter at Deezus12. You're following me on Facebook, Deezus Live, and my YouTube channel, Deezus Live. Make sure you're following me across all those things so that way you know what's going on with the podcast. Podcast episodes come around every Tuesday. Yeah, so make sure you're subscribed. We are now on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and Spreaker. And there'll probably be at least 1 or 2 more platforms coming. I'm kind of having problems with Stitcher at the moment. So I might expand to something else like Audio Boom or something like that. But that's where we're at for now. So make sure you're following me on one of those feeds. Give me shout outs. Rate and review on iTunes. Those are really big. If you do that for me, I will give you a shout out on a future episode on Twitter probably as well, because those rates and reviews help out big time. So let's go ahead and get into the bulk of the show. Okay, so I don't have a game for this week, but we're just going to kind of talk some fun stuff. And what you'll hear a lot in our review for La La Land is about the chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Me and Tyler, we both really love Ryan Gosling.
With Emma Stone.
With Emma Stone, yes. I
like them separately too. They're pretty cool.
I mean, I like them more separately, I would say. I haven't seen Gangster Squad. I know you have it. I also hear it's not very good though.
It's not good at all. I just love it a lot. It's one of those like guilty pleasure movies because it's fucking shit. Like, I won't lie. Just
from what I've seen from the trailers, I'm like, that movie looked a little ridiculous, and I'd probably like it too.
Yeah,
more than likely.
The cast is interesting, that's for sure.
It does. It has a lot of really interesting people in the cast. But yeah, Ryan Gosling, I mean, it goes back and forth between him and Fassbender for me right now as like my favorite working actor today. Like between those two, and I mean, I still give the edge to Gosling because I mean he does produce a little bit more.
He does
than Fassbender does.
He does.
And the latest thing that Fassbender's been in is Ass Creed. So yeah, I'd say Gosling is took the
Was it really
number
that
one.
Bad? I just don't want to watch
Tyler?
it. Yeah,
it's bad.
I feel so bad.
It's bad.
I saw your post on Facebook yesterday about when my roommate didn't watch any of the fucking upcoming Oscar movies, so just shut up. I was just like, all right, he has a fair point, but still, this movie's a great. Fuck him.
I mean, I got bust your balls. What do you expect?
That's fine.
But it was like for 3 straight categories, it didn't matter what it was. You just either picked Moonlight or La La Land. Like, I mean, yeah, they're cool, but it's got to be. I'm like, you're about 50-50. I mean, you've seen two of the better Oscar films.
Yes.
So I mean, you got a good chance whenever you're guessing, but it was kind of cracking me up at the same time. I was like, this dude.
Most of those guesses just came from like what I thought that they would pick, not what I really wanted. I'm really like, they're gonna give it to La La Land. But
I mean, yeah. And
you kind of saw it coming too.
Yeah.
But the best part of the entire Golden Globes was Meryl Streep's speech.
Yeah.
And everybody's been ranting
Meryl
about
Streep.
it. You know,
we're not gonna get into politics because I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Somebody pulled on Twitter the other day. Yesterday. It was a picture of a tweet from Donald Trump, and it was like a year and a half ago. And it was when one of Meryl Streep's like shittier movies came out too. It was Ricky and the Flash.
Oh yeah.
And Donald Trump tweeted, "Just got out of Ricky and the Flash. Man, Meryl Streep is the best. Blah blah blah. She's so awesome."
And now she's overrated.
I'm
waiting for the day that I have my own personal tweet where I'm overrated, Devon.
And that tweet will be from me.
No, I want it from the Donald though. I get that shit from you
Donald
every day.
tweet.
Fuck you.
The Donald tweets.
Yeah.
Man.
Where were we? We went on a tangent.
We're getting there, but I mean that's what happens when you talk about this fucking fuck. He's a fucking
fuck.
He gets his little fucking fangs in you.
Oh, I was gonna say his little tiny hands.
His tiny fucking hands. He just
his
whips out his fucking phone and.
That's why he thinks he has such a big cock, man.
Because it looks so big in his little hands. Yeah.
Oh my
Sounds
God.
about right. I don't even think he cares.
But you know who has really good chemistry?
Woo. Way to segue it back. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was looking for it and you found it.
I just did it.
Yeah, no, but so we're talking chemistry because that's going to come up a lot whenever we actually review La La Land. We're going to be talking a lot about Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. As you all know, Tyler is an actor himself. He is in his 4th year, about to graduate. So you got a lot of work under your belt. So I got 2 questions for you. So the first question will be have you had anybody like throughout your college experience that you've worked with multiple times that the chemistry, it's just there, you guys work easily together, like
Molly Grotha, hands down.
Yeah.
I've worked with that chick forever. People like watching the chemistry between her and I when we do get to work together, even though we've done a lot of auditions where we've been in the same room reading for the counterparts of one another, and every time it goes good. Our first bits of work were stage work, and the history, the bullshit, which is fine
always.
But I'm glad that it's changed now and that we're actually really, really, really good friends.
Like in a positive place.
In a very positive place. And
Let's
I love
just say, guys, things were a lot different.
I was dark
a few years ago.
I was dark a few years ago.
Things were dark.
I see the light. It's a long tunnel, but it's there, man. And it's called LA.
Hey, you made it out.
Yep. But no, I absolutely adore working with her now, especially now when we get on film sets and get together. There's just really nice, genuine chemistry. It's not forced. That's what Ryan and Emma have. It's just very natural. It's very It's human. It's human.
Well, and I think, and like one point that you already said was, like you said, not only working together, but working on auditions together, and you're in the same room auditioning.
Yep.
And you got to think about when you're auditioning, you're putting yourself out there. So it's like you guys have seen each other at that vulnerable state there. But then also through the history you guys have together as well, you guys have already seen each other at your most vulnerable.
And honestly, I think that's what helps us be good friends.
Yeah, like the intense emotions are there, and you don't have to try and create them because you've already experienced them together. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's what kind of puts you guys on the same wavelength, I think. Mm-hmm. So that does make sense. And yeah, like you said, it just it makes everything a lot easier. And when you said with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, like that's the thing. What makes it so special is it's organic. Like you just believe that these two are good friends, or maybe in some alternate universe timeline, I like to believe that they are dating off somewhere. Like kind of Will Smith and Margot Robbie kind of have that too.
Yeah, they do. And it's not.
You didn't watch Focus, did you?
No.
Did you watch Focus?
Was it any good?
It's not a good movie. It's an okay movie. It's not bad or anything, but the chemistry between them two is so good, and that's what got me so hyped for them two in Suicide Squad. Because like they have just really good chemistry together. When they do interviews together, it's really fun and organic. I mean, it's Will Smith. Yeah. It's one of the most charismatic people on the planet. So you're gonna get that automatically. So that's another one. What's another one of your favorite Hollywood duos?
Oh my God, I can't think of a single one. I want to say something like really stupid, like fucking David Spade and Kevin James.
Well, that would have been David Spade and Chris Farley.
Way back in the day, man. Rest in peace, baby.
And there's some other, power on-screen couples out there. I guess you could say Fassbender and Cotillard, who we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Them two in Macbeth, and even though Ass Creed is real bad,
they
do have really good chemistry together in that. One that I thought of that's one of my favorites, as far as on-screen duos today, you probably haven't seen nearly as many of them, but I really love Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart together.
Yeah, American Ultra.
I love
that movie. Oh my
you got
God.
Adventureland they've done together. One that I saw earlier this year, Woody Allen's film Cafe Society that came out this past year. They are so good. I love that movie. I need to show you that movie.
Yeah, dude, I feel so out of touch.
It's another one of
I have not
the
been on my movie game at all.
Yeah,
I really haven't.
Well, Cafe Society in general kind of flew under the radar.
It did, but I still saw stuff.
It's another film that I've noticed has been pretty popular this past year. Now that I started thinking about it this morning,
it's very stylized, isn't it?
Well, it's not very stylized, but there's been like 4 different movies that are considered, like people have said, are love letters to Hollywood in some aspect.
Got it.
Because that's what it's about. It takes place in 1960s Hollywood, and you see that whole world. There were rules don't apply earlier this year. That I saw that was but it was it was in the world of Howard Hughes in Hollywood and stuff. So you saw that angle, and then you have La La Land, and then there was one more too that I can't remember, but but Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart in that together were really good. They have wonderful chemistry together. I love I'll watch anything that they're in together. They have another film coming up pretty soon. I can't think of what it is. But and then so my second question was, so whenever you make it big here pretty soon, and you can start picking your roles and whatnot, and you figure out who you like working with, like just hypothetically, like think about what movies they've done, but also like how they seem like off camera, like in interviews and stuff like that. Like who's an actress that you could see yourself working well together with? you gotta think. You also gotta like look good together on screen too.
And Dee, she's honestly one of my favorite actors. She's such a beautiful man, and she's just such a wonderful person and talented. It's got to go to Michael Fassbender.
I was about to say. I was like,
no. Oh my God.
You guys could be in like a buddy cop.
I mean,
movie together, a real gritty detective movie. You guys both have matching stubble. I could see it.
In terms of like somebody that would like, because like I don't want to pick somebody that's like too old and we wouldn't have like good chemistry together, because like a really talented actress, and like I'm staring at her face because of your poster right now, is Amy Adams. She's slayed it this year, man. She's been working her ass off, right?
That's true.
She's so good, and everything that I've seen her in, like even though I don't think you liked it or cared for it at all, I enjoyed it a little bit when I got to see it. Cesario, what the fuck is the name?
That's Emily Blunt's in Sicario.
Oh my God,
that's not.
I'm thinking
Amy
the wrong
Adams.
person.
Amy Adams, she has a third movie because she had Nocturnal Animal, she had Arrival this year, and then she had one other movie this year. I can't remember what it is, but she was in another movie. Like she's had such a huge year, but and she's in her late 30s. So I mean, she's not like too much older than you. But were you thinking of Emily
I was
Blunt,
totally
though?
thinking of Emily Blunt.
Oh, okay. Emily Blunt.
I just fucking brain farted the fuck.
No, Emily Blunt. She's a great actress too.
I really can't think of anybody in Hollywood right now. I like that would probably like match my type of chemistry. You know, because I am like I try to be a very versatile actor.
Yeah.
And be flexible with what I can do with what I have, but I just don't know if I would be making a good judgment call. I mean, I'd love to work with both of those actors. Shit, I'd love to work with anybody. Fuck. I mean,
right.
Lindsay fucking Lohan, even though she's a total burnout. But if I could do something with her, I'd be like, sure, yeah.
Get that IMDb credit. Now, yeah, it is kind of a tough thing, especially because like we don't know these people. We're just can only hypothesize. I think, as far as comedy goes wise, I think me and Aubrey Plaza would work. I think we'd have some real good back and forth, just because one, like, because I consider myself a lot like Tom Haverford in Parks and Rec, so like the way those two play off in the show, and then like Aubrey Plaza has just that deadpan, just like, yo, here's the joke, take it or leave it, like whatever. So I don't know. I could see. I think that would be real fun to work with her.
And everybody, because like with her, with Aubrey, and then with Chris. Like the way that he's been transforming since Parks and Rec.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Ever since he's been transforming off of that series, you know, he's getting work. He just did a movie with J-Law. He just did Passengers. I haven't seen it, so I can't attest to the chemistry, but a lot of people have been saying that they really like them on screen together.
No, I mean, they look like they're good on screen together, and I hear that's the best part of the film. I still haven't watched that one either because I don't really race out to go see J-Law films.
Yeah.
Shoot me. But
shoot.
But yeah, no, I hear that their chemistry is probably the best part of it. I mean, they're just two very likable people, and I love all the promotion they've been doing together. Like I've watched there's a BBC radio show that they have a game, and Margot Robbie and Will Smith did this game together too. It's real funny. It's I forget what it's called, but it's basically they just playground insults. That's what it's called, and they literally just like take turns doing one-liners back and forth to each other. And Will Smith and Margot Robbie's was really good, but Chris Pratt and J-Law's was fucking hilarious. Like they literally just ripped the shit out.
I watched Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, yeah,
that
they
was
did
a good
too.
one.
Yeah,
too.
that was another good one. Oh, I love that segment. But yeah, so. Chemistry is a big deal when it comes to working actors, when it comes to making a good movie work, makes for enjoyable work. But we're going to go ahead and now get into the actual movie itself, La La Land. And so we're going to break down the movie for you a little bit. Like we will review it per se, but this episode is going to be more about, because like I said, I mean, Tyler's an actor. I have aspirations of, wanting to do more of this podcast, YouTube kind of stuff. So, like, as far as creators go, like, this is a very important film, and it will impact you in that way. But on top of it, it just happens to be a really enjoyable film as well. Like,
it's just such a fucking escape.
It really is.
Like, I went in the first time I got to see it because I have been fantasizing about this for fucking months because I didn't want to listen to the soundtrack beforehand. I didn't want anything to like fuck with me, like how you do with some movies. You won't watch a single trailer. You'll just go fucking see it.
You know how fucking hard that is for me too.
Yeah, I know.
Because of how in touch I am with like the movie world and stuff. It's so hard, like because it's everywhere.
Yep.
But
everywhere.
I did it. I did. Same as you. Like I didn't listen to the soundtrack. Like no nothing.
I did cave a little bit. I did watch a lot of press about the making of it, but I didn't like watch any of the trailers.
I watched the very first like 30-second teaser trailer, like so not even the full one. I watched that little teaser and that's it. Yep. That's all I needed because that's all I knew. I knew exactly what I was getting into with this film and I was super excited for it. But you said it was an escape.
It's
like
such an escape.
It really is. You go into this film, it's a little over 2 hours and you're transported into another world for 2 hours. The musical aspect of this film works so well that way because like you get the opening scene and you get the opening number and like so you're like okay, this is what I'm in for, like because like a lot of people will be like, oh, I hear it has some music in it. No, like this is a full-on musical.
It's paying its homage to classic Hollywood, the days like how you said Gene Kelly,
like they even opened up with like presented in CinemaScope and like all that stuff, like like it was legit. It like opened up as if we were watching, a Singing in the Rain or something like that.
Yep.
And the musical aspect doesn't wear on you either.
No.
Like all the songs happen pretty organically. I noticed there's a chunk of the movie for about like a good 45 minutes where you don't have any songs. So it does take a break from the songs and that kind of goes back into the musical aspect.
Yeah.
So even if you aren't, right off the gate, even if you aren't a fan of musicals, you can still go and enjoy this movie because it doesn't beat you over the head with it.
Exactly. It is just one of those classics that have music in it. It's played at the appropriate times because it's necessary. It goes back to how musical theater even works. It's like the only reason that they sing fucking songs is because they feel so emotionally about whatever just happened to them that the only thing that they can do is sing about it
or dance
there's
a lot of dance numbers.
anything, and that's what it predates back to. That's what it's talking about because it's such at the right moments. My favorite moment that comes along is A Lovely Night when they're walking back to the car and they do that tap number. Oh,
the
fuck
tap
me.
number, and they're also like kind of having this like banter in the song,
and it's
about,
that's what I love
the
the
situation. Most. Yeah, and it felt very real, organic. Ryan Gosling's character saves her, and he's just walking her back to her car, and there's not really a spark yet, is kind of like what the song is, like saying like there is a spark, but there's not.
And it's poking fun at it, and it's so obvious, but it's just so subtle, too.
Yeah. Or one thing that I mentioned about it is, like, I really like the decision of casting Emma Stone in this. Not that she's a bad singer or anything, because she's not, but she's not like, this amazing. She's an actress in the movie. She's not a singer.
Yes.
So whenever she sings her numbers, like, yeah, she's singing and it sounds good and it's very emotional, but she's not like this like amazing singer, so it doesn't feel like it's out of place.
No, exactly.
Same
thing
with Ryan Gosling. Like,
yes,
he can sing. He's not the best, but he's not bad by any means either.
And even though I'm not a big fan of her work, Anne Hathaway in Les Mis, she's not the best singer, but she made me fucking come to tears.
Yeah.
Like, and that's another thing. Sorry, I'm not trying to deter, but a lot of people have been giving fucking Emma fucking Watson some shit because
I haven't listened to it. I don't want to listen to it.
Dude, I haven't so
listened
bad.
To it yet.
They are bitching so bad about it. They're like, she's so whiny and childish, and that's not who Belle is. And it's all these bitches that have played. I'm so sorry, not bitches, but like
no bitches.
Bitches, yeah. It's all these fuckers that have played that part, and they're just like, that's not who she is as a person. I was just like, what's wrong with a different style take? Like,
do you
it's
want
not
it
your
to be
work.
A shot-for-shot remake of the original?
Like, it's iconic.
If you want
yes.
that, then watch the original one.
Exactly. Like, don't be upset about transforming art in a new way that's already been done before. Like, it's what the world is.
I have a thought on that, but I don't want to get on a separate rant because we're already on the third level of distraction. But yeah, so getting back to the movie. But yeah, that's the musical aspect works for works for a movie. So basically, the plot of this film is you have Mia. She's an actress. She's a struggling actress and barista. I love how you even made a point to say, "Oh, you're a barista," instead of barista. I don't know that. I thought that was funny. So she's an actress, and then you have Sebastian. He's a very passionate jazz pianist. I bet Ryan Gosling is a real good jazz pianist.
Can you just say that one more time, please?
No. Pianist. One more time. Pianist. So you have Sebastian, and it's these two. They're struggling out in LA. They're both trying to make it work. You have Mia. She's going through all these auditions, and nothing's really working out, and she hates working at her. She works on a movie lot, like at a coffee shop on a movie lot. So she's constantly seeing these things that she is chasing after but can't really get to. And then you have Sebastian, who believes that jazz is dying, and he's very passionate about jazz, like very, very passionate about it. And he's not trying to make it be famous or anything. He just wants to open up his jazz club and play some jazz music.
Yeah.
So you have these two people struggling, and then they come into contact with each other, and then they're trying to balance the work and the relationship. And that's something I hear a lot in LA, is just like people don't really go out of their way to try and date because you're very goal-oriented. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. I would agree.
Because that's what I got from A Lovely Night. Like, they could tell that the spark was there, but neither one of them really wanted it to be there. Because, like, people in LA typically, like, don't, like, seek out dating.
And I think, yes, I agree. And I think that's why the song was done, because it gave them that little spark of hope of possibly a future.
Okay, well, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the movie takes place, the majority of the movie, it takes place over a year span, and you just see these two grow together, not only in their relationship, but in their pursuit of their passions as well. And like we talked about at the beginning, the chemistry between those two is just, it's so on point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and one of my main criticism of the film is, like, the script is decent. It's not great. It's not bad either.
No.
It's a pretty decent script. But what really brings it to life is the chemistry between these two.
And the actor's talent, yeah, absolutely.
The actor's talent.
The way to make it seem like this is happening for the first time. This is they're discovering like Ryan Gosling's. We had this conversation in the car the other night. Ryan Gosling's discoveries in every bit of this movie are just like out there a bit, like how we lose his eyes in the camera for quite a bit. But when he comes back, when he makes contact with Emma, you just see what he's feeling, and it's so beautiful. Yeah,
easily my favorite scene of the film. I mean, this isn't a spoiler, but I'll warn you now, we're gonna be approaching spoilers soon. Mm-hmm. So I'll just let you know now that they're gonna start happening. So if you want just one last thought before we get into spoilers, if you're gonna stop listening to this episode, La La Land is very high production. The production for this movie, it's gonna win all the technical awards, that's for sure. It's definitely deserving of all those. But yeah, it's a great musical, and you should really check out this film. So if you have not checked out this film and you want to leave this episode, because we're gonna get into spoilers, leave this episode, go see La La Land, come back. Yeah Okay,
absolutely.
We're holding back the spoilers, but like we just want to get into it. So my favorite scene of this film is whenever Sebastian takes Mia to the jazz club, whenever he's trying to explain to her why he loves jazz so much, and she's like, well, it's just
very exciting.
And she's like, oh, well, I usually hear jazz is just like the background music.
The elevator Kenny G music.
Yeah. So, and then he's like, what are you doing? Let's go to a jazz club right now. And like that scene where he's like explaining like what's going on in the song, and like, and you see his passion. Like, I mean, that's the most fired up you've seen his character up to this point in the movie.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, you see Emma Stone, like the chemistry part is like, she's just like enthralled by it.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I love. Like if you do something really well in a relationship in a movie, I love people in relationships when you see someone get excited over someone else's passion.
Yep.
You know, like with you and Reagan, you guys are both actors, so I mean that comes pretty easily. But you guys are very much involved in, you know, your professional, like,
yes.
I won't say career because you guys are still in school, but you know what I'm.
Yes,
what I mean.
Yeah. Like our pursuit of this career. No, we get very excited, especially when we talk about people that are producing movies. She's worse than I am. Like, I haven't seen hardly any movies this year. Shit, I barely even know some of the actors' names in them. Like, I'm really bad at it. She's the worst. But when we do get to go see a movie and we do get to share in that experience, we just talk about why we love the craft and why it drives us to want to do this. It's like I'm a fucking adult that plays fucking pretend for a living.
Yeah.
That's my childhood dream, yo.
Yeah. And like you said, like it's the pursuit of, you get excited, and like I said, seeing that in her eyes, like in that scene specifically, is just like that's what really.
Seeing it the second time, I really got to watch the
whenever I bought
stuff,
into the relationship, I was like, okay, like these two have it, like they just, and I love that, and that's what this movie is about. It's a quote from a review that I read was that this movie is not a love letter to Hollywood, because, I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of the opposite. They poke fun at Hollywood a lot about how pretentious people are.
Yes.
Like, the first guy she tries to talk to just starts talking about his work, like, instantly, and I thought that was hilarious. So, I mean, when you think about it, it's not. So the quote of the review was, he said, "This is not a love letter to Hollywood, it's a love letter to passionate people."
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that for sure. And or people will say the dreamers is something that people will refer to them in this film, because that's what this film is about. These people that are passionate about something that they love and want to pursue it. And that's why I wanted to talk about the film, not only just the film, but like its importance to today's society, a society where people are, everybody's trying to do something creative with their lives currently, and like this is the time to do it with the internet and everything. But it's also like just really puts in perspective like what separates the people that are going to be successful doing it, the passionate ones.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much else that you can say to that. Like you pretty much nailed it. It is just so perfect for those that do have that dream, that do want to go do something. It's incredible. Honestly, I left the theater that night when I got to see it the first time feeling so driven and just so ready to go do it. I'm going to fall flat on my face a bunch of times, but like the rest of my life, I'll be probably falling on my face. But there's so many other opportunities that come up. And that's another thing that the movie presents. It's like life is full of opportunities, and sometimes you get dealt a shit hand, but eventually, you know what? That hand's going to end and something new is going to arise.
Exactly. Like it's persistence. Like the persistence between both of them in it. You have Mia, the actress, and that's what I love too. Everybody, whether they love the movie or not, or I mean, most people do, but everybody usually sways one way or the other on who they relate more to, whether it be Sebastian or whether it be Mia, because they do have goals of success for their areas of work, but they want success levels of different levels though. Because Emma Stone, as an actress, her character, she wants to make it big. She wants to get roles. She wants to be able to go back to the coffee shop she worked at and tip them big like she did. Like she wants to be famous. She wants to be a well-known actress, not only because she loves it, but that's just what she wants. And then you have Sebastian, on the other hand, wants to open his jazz club, and he doesn't care if it makes money or if it's very successful.
He's doing it just for the act of
play music.
Playing jazz in a club.
Like he just wants to make music. He says he's like we can play jazz whenever we want, whatever we want, however we want, and that's all he wants. He just wants to play music. Yeah. So it's like, and you said, and we were talking about it in the car on the way back, like how much you related to me as character, because it's like kind of a foreshadow of what your life is going to look like
for like the next 10 plus years.
Exactly.
And like that's the thing that people that want to do this profession need to realize. It is hard to get fucking work under the age of like 25. Like you have to like either look really fucking older or like, and people just need to realize that yes, there are things where people are producing with younger people. Like there are some really young people in the game, like even fucking kids.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult, and people need to realize like this shit is not handed to you on a silver platter. Like there are a few cases where somebody like is standing in a fucking coffee shop line and somebody's like, "Hey, you look like an actor. I need that look for my thing."
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. Over 3/4 of the people in the game, they've been fucking busting their fucking ass
for like a long time.
For a very long time.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, yeah, in in today's age, you have going viral and stuff, and like you can have that success like instantaneously, like within a day. You know, you can blow
fucking
up.
bottle flip that shit.
Exactly. Fucking there was that BuzzFeed did an article like recapping like people that went viral and like what it's like now, like since then. And it's like there's been people like one dude got like a modeling contract out of going viral off of something. Then you have other people. It's just like, I was famous for 2 weeks and then went back to normal.
The fucking Target guy.
Yeah. So it's like the more realistic angle is it's the people that work their asses off. You go out there and you got to grind. But like you said, though, you walk out of the movie and you're just like, oh, I need to make something. I need to create something like now. Like I felt that too. Felt. Yep. Exactly. Like I like the whole afterwards after we saw it, like I just started thinking of like all the different things I wanted to do with my YouTube channel, like
podcast,
more things I want to do as a podcast. My New Year's resolution, if you will, is I want to start writing a lot more because I want to go beyond like not only doing YouTube and podcast stuff. Like I want to write a movie script for no reason because why not? I think I could do it, or I want to write a comic book, or I need to. One thing I need to do is I need to actually start writing my stand-up material because I forget way too easily. So it's like I just want to start writing in general.
Just keep a little journal with you, babe.
Exactly, but that's one thing that like coming out of the movie, I just felt even more driven. And I saw, I relayed more with Sebastian, I guess. Like,
yes,
would I want to get success? Yeah, but at the same time, I really just want to be able to find a job to where I can do this kind of stuff. And that's all I want.
And that's
I just want to watch movies and get paid for it in some fashion. That's literally it.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I feel like that's not the only two types of passion that are out there. Not just like that's how passion is presented. There are so many ways that you can be passionate. This just touches on a couple of them. And they just do it so beautifully. It's just so fucking perfect.
And then when you take the movie and you take these passionate people, but then you add the love story on top of it.
Yes.
That's what makes this movie so magical, because what I'll say is this movie is not a love, like when you think of like a rom-com or a love story, this movie isn't about the relationship. Not at all. The relationship is there, and it's a thing to push the plot forward because like it's making these people question, what they really want.
The relationship challenges them as humans.
Exactly.
And their passions.
Because as human beings, like, they didn't expect to fall in love. They didn't want to. They had their goals, and then it's just something that happened.
Yep.
And then the love story is used to impact each other's careers on what they want to do as well.
Yep.
It propels their passions forward a little bit more because, you see Sebastian's passion rubs off on, because he has the more explosive passion for it, and that starts to rub off on her, and that motivates her to write her play, and then she does her play. And then on the other hand, though, Sebastian realizes he wants to like open a club and stuff, but he realizes he needs to make some money in order to do that.
Yep.
And that's something that I related to as well. I mean, I had to spend, almost $700 to get this podcast going.
Yeah.
And I did not expect that at all. So
Tax
it's like
refund.
So it's like Sebastian had to, play in that band. He accepts the gig in a band because it's paid and he knows he'll be able to make the money.
Yep.
Even though it's not what he's wanting to do.
Yep.
And then that affects the relationship, and then so it all just works together so well. Mm-hmm. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm saying it out loud. The script is better than I give it credit for.
Yep.
But at the same time, like I said, it's not the strongest aspect of it. So let's talk the director, because we haven't even gotten to that.
Oh my god.
Because this is also a movie that you can almost consider the director being a star of the film, Damien Chazelle. His directorial debut was Whiplash.
Yes.
2 years ago, Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, another film centered around music about people passionate about it.
Yes.
But that was, the difference between these two movies, that was just all him on his own. Like, the girlfriend aspect is irrelevant in that movie.
Yes.
Because it's all about him. So then that's when this movie ups the ante a little bit. But then the direction, the production level of this film is just, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the dance scenes, the musical scenes, just, whew.
I will say this, though. I love both of his movies for what they are in terms of being passionate. La La Land, yes, it glorifies passion and it makes people want to go do stuff. But what I think Whiplash
showed more of the pain
and the
aspect.
sacrifice. And there's a really good YouTube video about this. About they compared it with Black Swan.
Yeah, that's
lessons from the screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And he I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he fucking nails it on the head when he talks about what you have to give up. Like, there's some things in your life that you have to give up to do what you want to do. Like, some people, they've had wonderful acting careers. Tom, whatever the fuck his name is from Saving Private Ryan.
Tom Hanks?
No, not Tom Hanks. His counterpart. Sorry, wow, that was stupid. No, the guy that played Sergeant Horvath or whatever the fuck. It's Tom something. Anyways, he had a terrible drug addiction, and he was forced every day on set to do a drug test. Right?
Oh, wow.
And Steven Spielberg told him, he's like, I don't give a fuck if it's the last day of set and it's the last thing we shoot. If you test positive for drugs, I will reshoot my entire movie without you. And he, like, and that's not something that you should, like, it's something, yes, you should probably give up. You probably
should give up
drugs. But he's forced. That man was forced to do what he had to do.
Because he had to use his passion as fuel to get past that.
Yep.
To get past that.
And anyways, he failed after the movie. He went back to it, but that was a terrible fucking example.
Yeah,
I can't think of a better one.
That was a real bad example.
It's the first thing I thought of. Oh my god, kids, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
Moral of the story: don't do drugs. But no, I see what you were getting at.
Yes.
Like,
oh my god.
You have to take that passion. You have to take the pain of it as well and use it and turn it into something positive. And that's one thing in the movie that I'll praise as well is like. It didn't happen like so instantaneously that like, you know, they both instantly got their success like from each other. Like, oh, we'll get our success and we'll have our relationship. And no, they end up, this is where the big spoilers, they don't end up together, obviously.
Yep.
And it hurts. But at the same time, like you saw what they did for each other to get to where they needed to be. Yes, at the end of the movie, she is a famous actress and she is successful 5 years later. And then he has his Jazz Club. They don't have each other. But then there's that one glance they give each other just saying like, yeah, you know, it's okay.
Yeah. It's
an okay life. Like you were saying. Like
I've definitely had that glance with a person and I've connected with that. I'm just like, yo, that's real. That's what's up.
Yeah, because just like some things like literally just don't line up. The stars don't always align perfectly. And that's kind of what the movie asks you. You know, can you have your cake and eat it too? And they can't. You know, sometimes you just got to take the cake and go.
Yeah.
I don't think that analogy worked either, but
it didn't. But it does though at the same time.
Yeah, the movie.
That's the message I love the most about this movie.
Yeah.
There is beautiful passion, and people need to be. If you want to have it your way, and you want to have your dreams, you got to be driven, and that's what I love.
And you gotta be like you said. What Whiplash looks at is making sacrifices, and then that's what it carries on into this movie as well. Though, like they ultimately have to make the sacrifice of acknowledging that they can't be together and get their goals.
And then after that, the other message that is there is. Life will continue, even though, again, going back to the idea of that you get dealt a shit hand. You know what? Why the fuck would you play one hand of poker? You're gonna something else is gonna come along, and life is gonna turn around, and you can adapt and evolve because that's how we fucking came to be. Yeah. We adapted and we evolved and we made it better for ourselves.
And then I'll say like you know the filmmaking is a testament to this as well. One thing that I really enjoyed is when that scene plays out between Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, where they make the decision when he brings her back for the audition, and then the audition goes well.
And they're out in Griffith Park.
And it comes out, and the presentation of this film is what makes it so important as well, the themes. Because they could have made that scene very melodramatic. It could have been very emotional, them two they could have been crying over each other and been like, what are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just so very honest. They went for a walk, and they're just kind of talking, and she just says, where are we? He makes a joke because that's how they are. Mm-hmm. And then they get into it, and they both just realize, like, hey, like, it's not going to be the way we want it to be. Like, it's not going to happen. The relationship aspect.
And it's the love that they had between one another that they allowed themselves to be able to do that and be okay with it.
Yeah, they acknowledge it. They both literally say, like, it fucking crushes me when they're both just like, I'll always love you. And he's like, I'll always love you too. And they're both so calm about it. Like, they weren't like shuddering, you know?
Yeah.
But it made me shudder because I was like, damn, like,
It's fucking real.
it's such a mature decision that they had to make.
Yes.
And that's something that happens as well. Like, you get out to LA, like, you're on your own. Like, yeah, we're in Spring Dick right now in a small town together. We're on our own and we're fine. We're making it.
Yeah.
But it's like when we get out to LA, like, we're really on our own. So it's like, you know, you want to, it sucks
I'm
that
so
you can't.
excited. That's so exciting.
It is. And it's like in the movie, it sucks that they can't take comfort in like it doing this together, like having the comfort of each other. They're both like, we're going to have to do this on our own. And that's going to be that.
Yeah. Honestly,
And,
that's the
killer.
other thing. It like you just said, it is a very mature movie in the idea, like,
yes,
of
very.
being adult, of being a fucking adult.
Yeah. Like we make jokes about like, you know, not wanting to adult and shit, but like you got to
too.
like LA, like you don't have time to, you know, look back and stuff. You can't really be on the outside and be like thinking about what you're wanting to do. You just gotta do it. You gotta grow up like now.
Yeah.
But it is exciting. Like that's
every time I hear the word exciting, I just think of him in the jazz club, and it's conflict and resolution. It's very exciting.
Yeah, this is very exciting. But no, like, and just like, oh man, I get so excited when I think about going out to LA. Just like,
I get pumped.
It's so scary. Like,
but I love that.
Like yesterday, I had like a real like realization moment on like how scary it's actually gonna be out there.
Yeah.
Like when I thought about like the work that I'm gonna have to start doing, and then I was like, holy shit. Like, that is fucking scary. But then, like, that's how you know when you're passionate about something. Then the adrenaline kicks in. You're like, yeah. So you just, like, have that real creepy smile. I don't know. This might be just a me thing.
I kind of see where you're coming from because I know who you are as a person, and it makes sense.
Like,
but
when you get excited over something scary is what I'm getting at. Like, like
you just
it is scary, but
like,
at the same time, it excites you.
Because you and I, we both fucking want it. Like, that's the dream. It's terrifying, but it's the dream, and we're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, like that's why this movie really touched us. Like as like I said, as creators, as artists, it really impacted us, and just you see it. Like that's like we're getting to that point now to where like we see the end of the tunnel. Like,
yeah, we see the light
into another shit tunnel. But we're at the end of this current tunnel. Yeah. So, as you can see, La La Land has us pretty jazzed.
You're such a fucking douche.
It really does. It has us real excited to go out to L.A. But La La Land has not only had an impact on us. I asked some people online yesterday to give me reasons that La La Land inspired them as artists and creators. So, I will read a couple of those real quick. All right, so here are just a little snippets of people, like I said, that have been impacted by La La Land as well. This is from Jerry. It inspires me because as an amateur director, and Chazelle's journey seems very similar to mine, and I hope that I can get that one shot soon. I relate to Sebastian because I'm split between being an athlete or focus on the arts. I just wish sometimes would see things the same way that Sebastian saw jazz. And that makes a very good point. Yeah. Like it's... the way like jazz to him was something very different than Mia, what she thought of jazz. Like we highlighted earlier, Mia just said jazz was just this background elevator music, and then to Sebastian it was this whole other thing. So I definitely can relate to that one. This is from Manning. He says, even after a third viewing, La La Land continued to inspire me, not just in my dreams and passions, but in my everyday life. Granted, it greatly affected the dreams much, much more, but just the sheer power of the movie has on a dreamer is overwhelming. I've always wanted to work in film production in some way, in editing and cinematography, being the backbones of that passion, so seeing Mia keep reaching for that city of stars that just kept getting out of reach was truly inspiring.
Beautifully stated.
Right?
Wow. Go you.
Like,
what a guy.
Manning's great. He's a great guy. I love talking to this guy about movies. But yeah, like, I mean, it was always just right there for Mia. She knew what she wanted, and she said she had been out there for 6 years.
Yeah, and she's like, and I'm done. I gotta go back.
Yeah,
and then,
she had that breaking moment whenever it was just like she had been grinding. It was just always right there for her. And then Sebastian was just that little extra nudge. You know?
When he's out in the middle of fucking Nevada honking the horn, and he's just like, what? Oh man, just go fucking watch the movie, man.
You're being a baby right now.
Look at you, you're crying.
You're crying like a baby. La La Land inspired me. This is from Josh. La La Land inspired me and told me that there is hope for all the dreamers out there, that they shouldn't give up and that their dreams will come true. I totally relate to Mia and her journey. As someone who would like to do film in the future, Mia was a character that I would probably be if I lived in LA. The passion they had for each other and their dreams and how they only wanted the best for each other really touched me and made me feel inspired. So that was another really good one. One more real quick from David is, I'm more like Sebastian in the sense that if I was in a relationship with someone who had dreams and aspirations, I would ultimately want them to go for their dreams. I wouldn't want to be the reason that they didn't fulfill their dreams. I know in Sebastian's head he would have done anything for Mia, even sacrifice his own to be with her, which they do show in that montage at the end. I'll touch on that in a sec. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, he knew Mia wouldn't want that. She would want him to do the same, which breaks my heart to think about. Personally, I feel like dreams and aspirations can change, and Sebastian would have been perfectly fine waiting for her or going along with her without ultimately fulfilling his dreams. But the movie portrayed the hard truth, the harsh reality, how it can really be sometimes. Ultimately, I do not want to achieve fame or the type of dream the film portrays, but it inspires me to get back into my passions of art, drawing, sketching, etc. Not just because it's my job, but because I love doing it.
Bam.
So, yeah.
Bam. Right there, bitch.
La La Land is impacting a lot of people, especially, like you said, in the relationship aspect. The last thing of the movie that I want to touch on is the very end. So I really hope that you've seen this movie if you've made it to the end of this podcast. The very end scene, whenever we get this going back scene and we see the events of the movie play out again, if Sebastian would have did things a little differently. That's what I get from it. Is that what you get from it, right? Yes. Like, this is what Sebastian sees in his head, like the way it could have been.
Yeah.
And so that's when you're like, oh shit, are we actually going to get our happy ending? They go through this big old montage and you see Sebastian pretty much, he gets her the audition. He goes with her to Paris. Mm-hmm. So like David just said in his comment, he would have put his dreams on hold for her, and he wanted that, but he knew that's not what she wanted him to do.
Yeah.
She knew that it was either both of us are achieving our dreams or neither one of us are. So it's like, yeah, there could have been these scenarios that if everything would have worked out perfectly, that they both would have gotten their dreams in the end. But that's not how life works. No, and that's what this movie shows you is like, hey, look at what could have been if everything went perfect, but as we all know, it didn't. Everything didn't go perfect. They each made mistakes, and they eventually got to where they were going to be, just not together, because that's how life is. Just doesn't always work out.
Yeah. You nailed it. You fucking nailed it. You tugged on my heartstrings. So
yeah, no, for sure. So the last thing that we will stress about this is just go see this movie. If you haven't already, if you are somebody that is passionate about something, go do it. Yep. Like, that's all I can really say. Like, before I started doing like my YouTube and podcast stuff, like I would sit around talking about it for how long, you know?
Yep.
Like saying that I wanted to, and then eventually I was just like, I just gotta do it. Even if I don't know everything off the gate, just gotta do it. And I think that goes for anything. And
I remember it was like, and then the failures, like the moments where you're just struggling. I remember when you were trying to like get the shit to work. You know, like there were some nights where just, I am so frustrated right now, and I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna have this beer, and I'm just gonna sit in silence because I just don't want to deal with it right now. Yeah. And there's gonna be those hard moments, and yeah, honestly, this movie, it is life. That's all I can say. It is a life movie for those dreamers. It is just a harsh reality, and it's a great taste in your mouth.
Yeah, but and like I said, not only that is it just, you're going to relate, you're going to feel to these things, but I mean, we've kind of undersold it as a movie almost, I feel, because we're talking about the themes, like the movie itself is just, it's just a magical movie. Like,
yeah,
this is the reason I go to the movies so much, like, because I like to go to the theater, I like to have an experience, get transported to their world just for a couple hours, and that's what this movie does for you. Like, you are whisked away It is very magical. It's very fantastic, and just it's a spectacle. I love it.
Yep.
Just it really hits, and so it's like whenever you hear everybody talking about La La Land, does it live up to the hype? It absolutely does.
Yes.
Like, I was so worried that after, like, I've been tracking this movie for so long.
I know.
Like, literally, once I heard the concept of it, like, when Chazelle, he, like, did an interview and said, yeah, I'm writing a musical. And he explained the musical, like, between a jazz pianist and an actress in L.A. And I was like, I want it now. So I've been tracking this movie for 2 years. And I was really scared it wasn't going to live up. And this movie hit all my expectations, like, pretty perfectly, actually. I think that's why I didn't seem, like, as emotionally, like, happy about the movie after the first time. Because, like, it didn't exceed my expectations. It, like, hit them, like, on the head perfectly. I, like, felt very at ease about it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to explain that night.
Okay. That's so much more beautifully stated.
Guys, we were so stoned, too, the first time we saw this film. Like, Tyler, the first time we saw it and the planetarium scene happened, I felt my vision, like, go into, like, a tunnel while I was watching it. Like, oh, man.
I was a giddy little fuck just sitting. I was like a kid at the movie theater. I was like,
I had
everything's so pretty.
Just had the stupid smile, like, yeah. But, yeah, no, this movie, it literally knocks it out of the park. It is such a fantastic movie. It's gonna win lots of awards, and it's going to win for good reason, though.
Yes.
Like, it really is.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's another thing that I'm really excited about is Damien's future work.
This is his second movie. This dude is so
just,
fucking good.
And
I think he's only like 32, which is, I mean, in Hollywood director years, that's pretty damn young.
Yeah.
He's pretty much a baby.
But you know what? He's hitting with the big hitters, you know?
Exactly.
And it's great.
It's nuts.
Oh, man. And I'm like, I don't want him to top it, but I want him to top it.
I mean, he's just so fucking good. But this movie was his passion project.
Yes, it was.
Because he says it in interviews all the time that him, like, this was his dream. Like, he was a dreamer once. Like, he was in their position at one point.
Yeah.
He has a vision he had been wanting to do for such a long time, and he finally got that perfect shot that he wanted.
Yep.
Like,
in
he's been envisioning this movie for 10 plus years.
Yeah, and that's what he said in the post Golden Globe Award speech. A question was asked, and he was just like, "Hey, how many no's did you get on this?" He's like, "Too many to count." Like, but it happened because I made it.
He grinded, and so I mean, this movie is a testament to him as a director. So yeah, guys, go follow your dreams.
I hope we inspired you to go watch it. Fuck me.
I feel inspired right now.
I want to go watch it again.
Oh man, it's so good. I'll probably watch it again before the week is out.
I'll probably watch it like 20 more times for the month's out.
I honestly kind of want to go by myself.
Yeah.
Because both times, this is a first that I've seen a movie twice with people.
With you specifically.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen a movie twice in a theater with you.
Yeah. See, 2016, I've done that like 5 times this year, like seeing a movie multiple. I saw Deadpool twice.
How many times have you seen Nocturnal Animals?
I saw Nocturnal Animals 3 times.
That's not a record, though. Is that a record?
Yeah.
That's a record?
Well, I mean, for the last movie I saw 3 times at theaters was like Monsters, Inc., like when I was a kid. Oh,
man. That shit made me cry so hard as a kid.
But like this year, seen Captain America Civil War twice, Deadpool twice. I saw Moonlight twice. I saw something else twice, or La La Land twice, and then Nocturnal Animals 3 times.
There you go.
Like, that's how much this year is.
You're a fucking
just
champ, man.
Fucking, oh man, I love movies, guys.
It's been a great year for movies. These past 2 years have been great years.
Yeah, no, this has been just such a fantastic year for movies, and but it's 2017.
It's a new year.
I did release an episode last week. I was gonna say this is the first one of the new year, but it's not. But yeah, 2017. So, get out there, achieve your dreams, guys. All right, so that'll go ahead and do it for us, guys, this episode of the podcast. Tyler, what you working on right now? What would you like to plug?
I'm working on a web series right now. We're in our 2nd season, but right now, the 1st season is being released. It's the Backstage Web Series. You can check us out on YouTube. Episodes are released weekly, every Thursday, so check them out. 1st season's almost completely out. You're going to love it. You can follow me on Instagram at @themisunderstood_madman. Don't follow me on Twitter. My Twitter game's weak as fuck, so... yeah, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Oh, that was real good. That was a way better plug than the take we did before this. What I was gonna say is, don't get it confused. There is a thing on Netflix called Backstage that people are like obsessed with right now.
We're only on YouTube.
So watch on YouTube, guys, not the one on Netflix. But check me out on Twitter at Deezus12, on Instagram Deezus12 as well, and then Facebook and YouTube Deezus Live. You can find the podcast there. Find me on iTunes. Episodes every Thursday. Peace out, motherfuckers.